All right. Falcon fans, NFL fans, welcome to For My ATL Sports 1 NFL Friday Talk Show across all platforms. Welcome to everyone joining us. I have a full house tonight, and I got some superstars, man. Joining me from Ultegacy, we got Jordan Burton. All right, Jordan, how you doing, man? All well?
I'm getting over being sick, but I'm doing well. This is the best day I've had probably in a week and a half.
I hear that, man. And of course, we got Mr. Liam McCray, I believe that is. Is that right? Did I get that right, Liam McCray?
Yep.
All right, Liam, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Doing great. Just getting ready for Sunday.
So you two guys are loving life right now because you are a Chiefs fan. And Jordan, get this, guys, get ready for it. Jordan is a Chiefs and an Eagles and a Saints fan.
Chiefs.
That's right, Eagles and Saints. I said it. No, don't adjust your dial. It's not the volume not working. Put down whatever you're drinking, but it ain't your drink. I said it. He's an Eagles and a Saints fan. Now, he is my friend, so we're going to give him some grace. But, Jordan, you and I talked last night, and I know you're pretty excited about this Super Bowl, man. And also before we get into that, my family is on the show. C-Dub, C-Double, nothing but trouble from the Beard Gang, and Mr. Ladarius Brown and his band of renown from the Beard Gang. What's up, fellas? Y'all doing all right? Everybody good?
Man, we're here.
All right, man. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
Friday Night SmackDown, but we're here for you, making sure you don't like hack up a lung on us.
I probably will.
Wait,
probably
you're here for him? I showed
Technically, I was here for you.
This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
Wow, it is. I mean, I was technically here
Oh,
because
wow.
you told me about it, and then I was like, well, what's up?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Let me tell you something. Ladarius is my brother, whether he knows it or not. So whatever.
Whoa.
John Brooks
Holy
says-
ancestry.com, pal. Let's cool that. Let's get the break on that.
Oh my goodness.
You need to have a talk with your mother, man.
I'm gonna tell her what was going on, and I don't even want. You know what? I don't even want to know. I don't want to know.
Oh my God. Jeez, man. All right, man. So let's get to it. Jordan and Liam. I know if it were me and if it were my Falcons, I would be so excited right now, man. I would be elated. Can you guys, and I know you guys, especially you darn Chiefs, have experienced so much success here lately. It's probably like old hat, but guys, tell me how you feeling. Tell me what your thoughts are right now. Just tell me what's going through your heads.
Liam, you want to start?
Sure. I mean, I've experienced the same thing the past 2 years. So,
Man, horrible.
Oh man. Well, that's our show, folks.
He had he had to say it.
it feels great every year. You guys should try it sometime.
Oh wow.
Oh
Really?
man.
That's easier.
Man.
Oh wow. Oh
I
wow.
gotta cough myself. Oh my God.
That was very mean, Liam. I just want you to, I love it, but that was very mean. That was very cruel. Jordan, how you feeling, man?
Just try it yourself.
How you feeling?
I said this in our call last night, that like in the past couple Super Bowls, I get excited, but I've come to realize that there's like a calm period right after you win a conference championship game. And I'm sort of in that calm period. It doesn't really ramp up until normally the day before the Super Bowl or the day of the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty calm right now. I'm not like super excited. I'm watching some hype videos and stuff like that. That's getting me excited, but I'm still in that calm stage of in between the Super Bowl and the conference championship game.
So I gotta ask my Beer Gang family this, because maybe I'm just a weirdo. So
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask. So C-Dub, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
2016, right? 2 days before the playoffs. I mean, I'm sorry, before the Super Bowl, were you like on cloud nine? Were you like, because these dudes are like, oh, we're used to it, whatever. There's a calm that comes, man, whatever. What were you like 2016, 2 days before the Super Bowl? Because I know what I was like. What were you
one,
like?
I had more hair. 2, my hair was black. I was positive. I enjoyed my family more. I believed in my football team. And then 2 days later, C Double was born.
Oh man.
I grew up and life sucks, and then you die.
Ladarius, it's 2016. It's 2 days before the Super Bowl. What were you like?
I gotta follow that up. Great optimism.
Yeah, that's
All
tough, man. You're right. That's tough. I did you wrong. That's tough. What were you like?
I mean, I'm not gonna say my age because some people, I want to say my age because I get picked on for that on the show by a guy in the upper left-hand corner. But
bro, this dude right here is younger than I promise you, on this show, you will not get picked on.
But yet it's okay when you're doing another show. Okay, guys.
I'm not saying it's okay, man. We're brothers, okay? Brothers fight. They pick
We're
on
not, buddy.
We are brothers.
I grew up and you weren't there. You weren't there, okay? I pushed myself on the swing. I threw the football to myself because you weren't there.
I went to Walmart to get a T-shirt and never came back. But we can talk about it another time.
You went to Walmart to get a T-shirt, buddy. Okay.
Oh,
you probably got the two. You probably got the 2-pack of shirts for all I know.
I did.
Anyway.
I probably did.
Yeah. No. You did. You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Okay.
Some brother you are. Anyway, now to answer your question. 2016. Listen, it was a lot of optimism. It was, I was happy. I think Matt Ryan, cloud nine. We were on cloud nine. After that, but listen, going into it was a great optimism. We're facing the almighty Patriots, for one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history. So, I was feeling great. A little bit younger. Terry, I assume you were a little bit older at the time. So,
okay.
Well, so you got older. That's
yeah. It happens. It happens.
I wouldn't know, Timberland. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You had hit records and stuff like that, and it was a good time. It was a good time.
It was a good time, man. So for me, right, I was, and you guys, like Jordan knows this. I'm excitable. My wife says I'm probably mentally ill, but whatever. Who cares what she says?
She has a point. She has a point.
Whatever.
Get
the little green men in the background
out.
are there. Okay, I don't care what y'all say. They support me. So no, I'm kidding. But I was so excited. 2 days before the Super Bowl, my wife says, I don't want to hear another word that begins with Falcons or Super Bowl until the event, or I'm going to leave. Like, I drove her insane because every morning I was like, Kim, we got 5 more days. I can't wait. We're going to play the Patriots. We're going to do this. Matt Ryan's going to do this. Oh, my God. It's going to be great. And it was like literally for 4 hours. I was so excited. I could not stop talking about it. And so when Jordan was talking that bullshit last night, and he was like, well, there's a certain calm that comes over you. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, whatever. My wife had to damn near put me in a timeout. Like, if you say one more, God, I swear to God, you will sleep outside if you say one more goddamn thing about those Falcons. I don't want to hear it. So it's just, I don't know. I was excited. Like, and I'm telling you, if we ever go back, right, Jordan, you're not going to be able to stand me. Because I'm probably going to call you every day. I'm probably going to call. Now that I know Liam, fuck it. I'll call him. I'll call everybody on this panel and be like, hey, Falcons, Super Bowl. Let's go. Sunday. Let's go. Like, that's how. Bro, it is the Super Bowl.
Lose my number. Never.
Yeah, I'll show up at you. I'll show up in Florida at your house. And
you'll see the fun police department come and take you away some cups.
Okay. I'm going to tell him he's my brother. You can't get rid of me. Whatever. So
if you can tase him too, that'd be great.
All right, guys. All right, we got to get to it. So, Jordan tonight, guys, I'm sorry. I'm getting over.
There goes that kidney.
What feels like pneumonia. So Jordan has put together kind of like a top 10 receiver list. Now, if you know Jordan's very thorough. Okay. And so he's going to give us the rules and give us what what his criteria was. Jordan is one of the best guys I've ever seen with spreadsheets. He probably could make a spreadsheet deal cards. So with that being said, Mr. Jordan, have at it, sir.
So I have been putting together all-time teams, all-time lists for probably 13 years since I was, I'm 24. So I've been doing this since I was like 11. And I've at first it was sort of just looking at face value stuff, how many Super Bowls a guy wins, how many stats they have. But over time, I've learned to adjust the rankings of like all of my all-time teams. I'm trying to build my all-time teams still. But getting sick really motivated me last week to put together my top 10 wide receivers of all time list. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at 5 categories. Whether a player led the league in a big 3 stat. So whether they led the league in catches, yards, or touchdowns in a given year. That also counts if, like, say a tight end led the league in touchdowns, but the wide receiver was like second. It still counts in favor of the wide receiver. If you're leading your position in that big 3. Second is awards, how many awards they won. I'm not talking about Walter Payton Man of the Year, as much as that's a great award. I'm not talking about Super Bowl MVP either, because I feel like Super Bowl MVP is such a random award. Like Malcolm Smith won. And how many people remember who Malcolm Smith is? I'm going to tell my kids about Malcolm Smith 40 years from now, and they're going to be like, I don't know who that is. Third, postseason success. This has nothing to do with the stats of the player in the postseason and everything to do with whether they won. It's more of a team success category. But I think it's very fair to look at a postseason success when you're trying to compare players, because that may end up being a defining factor in why they are ahead of them.
Hey,
fourth
Jordan,
category.
Real quick, not to cut you off. Debo Vibes just joined us. Debo is also one of my podcast buddies that we do podcasts on Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings. Debo, how you doing, man?
Doing great, sir. How about yourself?
Man, we're doing good. So Beard Gang, Ladarius Brown, his band is renowned, and of course Mr. C Double, who you don't know, Jordan from Ultegacy and Liam. So Jordan, get ready for it. Get ready for it, Debo. Jordan is an Eagles and a Saints fan. I said it, Eagles and Saints. Yeah. I know it's weird.
This is very awkward right here, man.
I'll tell you. But he is my friend, so we got to give him some grace. Like I say, man, I messed around and liked the guy. We had a conversation about Marvel, and all of a sudden at the end of it, I literally was like, did we just become best friends? So he's my friend. But it is weird. It is weird. And then we got Liam, who's a Chiefs fan. And we're just talking NFL tonight. So Jordan's about to tell us about his top 10 receiver list, and then we're going to go in and give our opinions on the list and what we think and what we agree with and what we don't agree with. All right. Sorry about that, Jordan. Didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, sir. The Saints suck. I'm sorry. Did I say that? I didn't say it out loud. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not mean it. Oh, it's just coming out. Oh.
Man, you need to chill on that, man. You're choking on yourself.
Choking on this bullshit about this Saints team. Okay, go ahead, Jordan. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you a hard time.
All right. So I'm going to summarize the 5 categories that I'm going to be looking at with determining like the order. It was times leading the league in a big 3 stat: catches, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns. Awards won, postseason success, not stats, just their success from a team perspective. Longevity to dominance ratio. So this is something I've looked at, which is how many years was the player just simply good? They don't even need to have won awards. They don't need to have made the Pro Bowl. But what years were they just statistically good? out of how many years they played in the entire league. So if you had 11 good years out of the 11 you played, that's you have longevity and you have dominance. But if you only had 5 good years out of 17, then you have longevity but no dominance.
Right.
So I kind of like threw that name in there. And then the 5th final category is projected stats. I wrote an article kind of going over this. I've said it in multiple videos before. It's a percentage-based calculation to show like what a stat would look like from like any given year in the year 2025 and vice versa. So like if you wanted to take a player's like receiving yards in 1942, you could, from a percentage value, project to see what that player would do that in the equivalent to in 2025. It's very out there. But the article I wrote kind of tries to dumb it down as simple as possible. It was something I thought about in a calculus, in a statistics class back in high school, and it kicked back into my brain in high school, and then I ended up making this article about it. So
Jordan is a genius. If you guys hadn't noticed, Jordan is a genius, which is weird because why is he a Saints fan? Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead. But he is a genius. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Jordan. Go ahead.
So with the projected stats, before I get into the list, it helps with comparing players to different eras. So you can see how good a player would be if you took, like, say, Joe Montana and threw him into 2025. That's just any given player. So with that being said, here's my top 10 list with 2 honorable mentions. The reason I have 2 honorable mentions is because they fall in the same tier as receivers 7 through 10. So
Gotcha.
They're all very close when it came to this ranking. I looked at 35 different receivers. I asked a lot of people who are some players that should be mentioned as top 10 receivers of all time. And I looked at all 35 of those players I was given. I also did a lot of research, just anyone who could be in the conversation. So when I say these players rank, this is out of the 35 players that I looked at.
Gotcha.
So the 2 honorable mentions, number 12 is Terrell Owens. I loved watching T.O. I watched the end of his career. I watched him when he was with Buffalo and Cincinnati. When I did this, he's 5th statistically, 10th in longevity to dominance ratio at 11 good years out of 15. 25th in postseason success. This is where it hurt him. He lost a Super Bowl. That's kind of the furthest he ever got. And after that, he lost the conference championship game, has 4 divisional round exits. He's 14th in awards, has 12. That's okay. And he's 15th in leading the league in big 3 stats. He's only led the league in catches, yards, or touchdowns 3 times. So stats really carry T.O. on top of his longevity to dominance, but he's not able to crack the top 10. But he's still in the same conversation as the next few guys. Number 11, this is a guy I mentioned on the stream a couple weeks ago, Dante Lavelli. Nobody knows who he is, but he played with the Browns in the 40s and 50s with Otto Graham. He's 9th statistically, 15th in longevity to dominance ratio at 11 years played and 9 were good. He's the number 1 receiver out of all 35 I looked at in postseason success because he won 7 championships in 10 years, and he went to 10 championships in 10 years. That was all those years were with Otto Graham. Otto Graham was just that great of a player, but postseason success, he's number 1. He was 22nd in awards. He only won 9. And Lavelli was 21st in leading the league in big 3 stat. He only led the league in twice. So with that being said, the top 10. Number 10, I have Steve Largent. 8th statistically, 2nd in longevity dominance ratio. At 14 years, 12 were good years. The one area that hurt him from potentially being a lot higher was postseason success. The furthest he ever got was a conference championship game, and he lost that. So he was 32nd out of the 35 I looked at. Of the awards, he's 8th in awards. He's got 14 awards, a lot of Pro Bowls, all pros. And he led the league 3 times in a big 3 stat, so he's 15th in that. So Steve Largent, Steve Largent's in a lot of lists, so that's not like a shocking one. I think modern fans, like people my generation, kind of look at Steve Largent as like this small, skinny dude who, like, there's no reason he should be like in the above like certain players, but like I feel like that's just, I don't know, that's like a stereotype, I guess, against older players. I mean, and to put this into perspective, if someone is really young and thinks that Steve Largent isn't good at football, I want you to ask them, do they think Steve Largent is better than DK Metcalf, or do they think DK Metcalf is better than Steve Largent? Because anyone who knows football knows Steve Largent is better than DK Metcalf.
And it's not even
DK
close.
Metcalf, yeah, but DK is a huge like dude, so of course people are going to pick DK.
Right.
Number 9, this is the name that I told Terry that I don't think anyone's going to know. Pete Pihos. So this dude played with the Eagles in the 40s and 50s. He is 18th statistically. He had 8 good years out of 9 years played. He was 9th in postseason success in the late 40s. That was when the Eagles went to 3 straight championships, won 2. He was a part of those teams. He was the best receiver in the league during that time. He's 10th in awards. He's got 13 awards, and he's 5th in leading the league. He's led the league in the big 3 stat 6 times. So only 4 other players had more. He was a quintessential piece of the first 50 years of pro football. And the Eagles, like, it wasn't really a dynasty, but they went to 3 straight championships. I feel like on face value, some people might say this is some bias because I'm an Eagles fan, but I was very shocked to even see this PPOs this high. I kind of just threw him in there because I was like, you know what? He's got a couple championships. He's got a lot of awards. He's in the Hall of Fame. So he'll probably be pretty high. Yeah, I was shocked. PPOs at 9. 8, I have the guy I'm wearing, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry, the one thing about Larry that I was shocked with, so statistically, not looking at projected stats, we all know Larry's like top 10 in every major receiving category. But if you're looking at projected stats, Larry Fitzgerald goes all the way to 16th out of the 35 players I looked at. He's 4th in longevity to dominance ratio. Larry played a long time. He played 17 years, and 12 were good years. He was 28th in postseason success. He only made 1 Super Bowl and lost that one, so that really hurts him from being even better. He was 4th in awards. He's got 17 awards to his resume, and he was 11th in leading the league in a big 3 stat. He led the league in big 3 stat 4 times. So I loved watching Larry. I mean, he was Mr. Consistency. And then the final receiver of my tier 5 group is Marvin Harrison. I have to now add senior. It's kind of weird adding senior. The entire time I'm writing this, I'm like, this is weird writing Marvin Harrison senior, it being that his son's now in the league. Marvin Harrison was the 3rd best statistical receiver projected stats. So he's been incredible. He's 5th in awards. He's got 15. He led the league in a big 3 stat 5 times. The issue with why he's not even higher is he was 25th in longevity to dominance ratio, so 25th out of the 35. He played 13 years and had 8 good years. So he didn't play too long compared to other guys who are higher, and he didn't have as many good years as the other guys that are higher. And then postseason success, he did win a Super Bowl, but that was the only thing that really is added to his resume. There are better receivers in terms of postseason success than Marvin Harrison. And then we get into the top 6. This is my tier 4. So there's 3 receivers in the tier 4. Number 6. This is a name that I already know people are going to be like, what is this list? Randy Moss is 6. Some backstory. Every time I've ever done a top 10 wide receivers list, Randy Moss has always been in my top 5. This was the first time he's not in my top 5. And he's number 6. So that's some backstory. I loved watching Randy Moss. He was so awesome. He was 4th statistically, 9th in longevity to dominance ratio. He's played 14 years at 11 good years. He has 14 awards to his resume, which is 8th. Led the league in a big 3 stat 5 times, so he's 7th most. The one area that really hurt him was postseason success. That he has 2 Super Bowl losses. He really didn't have anything to push him higher. Number 5, this is a name that I've always had at number 3 or number 4, so it was very shocking to see him at 5. And not many people know him. Lance Allworth. He was a Hall of Fame wide receiver in the AFL, probably the greatest player in the AFL history. He was 7th statistically for this. He's 2nd in awards with 18. He was 3rd in leading the league in a big 3 stat. He led the league 9 times in catches, yards, or touchdowns. He was 7th in postseason success. He has 2 championship wins and 1 championship loss. The one issue with why he isn't higher is he only played 11 years and 7 were good. If he played longer and he just had a couple more good years, he would probably be higher. Number 4, Paul Warfield. Paul Warfield is, one of the greatest. He's probably the greatest postseason receiver ever statistically. But in terms of postseason success, he's got 3 championship wins and 2 championship losses. He's been to 5 championships. That's the second best postseason success out of the 35 receivers I looked at. He's 11th statistically, 8th in longevity to dominance ratio. 13 years, he had 11 good years. He's 5th in awards. He's 15 total awards to his resume. The one issue with him is he only ever led the league in yards, catches, or touchdowns twice. So that's 21st, tied for 21st. And then the final 3, they are kind of already in their own tiers. There's kind of no way I'm able to move them. Number 3 is Raymond Berry. He was a Colts wide receiver in the 50s and 60s. He was the MVP of what's known as the greatest game ever played in the 1958 championship game. He's 13th statistically, 11th in longevity to dominance ratio. At 13 years, he had 10 good years. He's 8th in postseason success. He had 2 championship wins to his resume and a championship loss. He's got 15 awards, which is 5th most. And he led the league 8 times in catches, yards, or touchdowns, which is 4th most. Raymond Berry was just really dominant with Johnny Unitas. That was the first quarterback receiver duo in league history that just took the league by storm. So yeah, Raymond Berry. I've always had him in my top 5, but never in my top 3. He's always been 4 or 5. And now I want to explain this. The gap between number 2 and number 3 is a larger than the gap between 1 and 2. The number 1 and number 2 receiver are over here, and then everybody else is way down here. So to just put this guy at 2 and Raymond Berry at 3 is not showing just how big of a separation there was when I was looking at all of this. Number 1 and number 2 were very close, but it was pretty set in stone who's number 1. Number 2 is Don Hudson. I've always had Don Hudson as the number 2 receiver of all time. When I looked at this, Statistically, he's first all time. Now, in all projected stats, he's number one. He's number one in leading the league in Big Three stat. He's led the league 24 times in catches, yards, or touchdowns. He's second in awards with 18. He's fifth in postseason success. He has 3 championship wins to his resume and 1 championship loss. And he's sixth in longevity to dominance ratio. He played 11 years, and none of them were bad. All of them were good. 11 out of 11 years were good. I only had 2 receivers who were top 10 in every single category, and this was one of them. And number one is not really a shocker unless for some reason you want to be different. Jerry Rice is number one. Jerry was second statistically to Don Hudson. He's second in league leading stats. He's led catches, yards, or touchdowns 15 times, which is second to also Don Hudson. But where Jerry just dominates everybody is his longevity to dominance ratio. He played 20 years and 16 of them were good. He's first in awards. He's got 32 awards to his resume. And postseason success, he's third. He's got 3 Super Bowl wins and a Super Bowl loss. When I did this, it's all averaged out based off the 5 categories, like where they rank. And Jerry Rice and Don Hudson are just 1 and 2. I have a hard time believing that anyone has a solid argument for why any of them shouldn't be in the top 10, never mind the top 2. So this is something I've worked on for a long time, just figuring out what the criteria should be. And me getting sick last week kind of put this list into fruition. So these are my top 10 plus 2 receivers of all time.
All right, I'm gonna throw it out to the panel. And just to review, we got Jerry Rice at number 1, Don Hudson at number 2, Raymond Berry at number 3, Paul Warfield at number 4, Lance Allworth at number 5, Randy Moss at number 6, Marvin Harrison Sr. at number 7, Larry Fitzgerald at number 8, Pete Pihos at number 9, and Steve Largent at number 10. Mr. Liam. Oh, we got to hear what Mr. Liam has to say. Give us your thoughts. Hold nothing back.
I mean, for the most part, I like the list. Like, the only thing, though, is Randy Moss being at 6. I feel like there is an argument to make him higher. Like, yeah, he may have lost those 2 Super Bowls, but he at least made it to championships. So that's really the only thing that I have is I feel like could have an argument for top 5.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. C-Dub.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts.
I will say this. I thought Jerry Rice should have definitely been number 1. And a lot of people, heck, I didn't even watch because, I got into it like maybe early 90s, early or late 80s maybe I got into it. So a lot of guys from that era, where would you – I was going to say what because I remember Andre Reed. There was a lot of good players back then and that I didn't hear. So it's like I'm wondering, what about Andre Reed from the Bills? What about and I know they lost 4 straight, but like you also had Rod Smith, you had Eric McCaffrey. There's a whole lot of receivers that played, and if you're trying to remember them all, good luck. I think your list is pretty spot on.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Ladarius Brown, the van of renown. What you got, sir? What say you?
Listen, I'm kind of on the same wavelength with, I'm surprised, Randy was 6. I understand given the criterion and everything. And I was kind of curious where like guys like Art Monk and Andre, I was curious because it's, I was kind of curious about that because I know I believe Art Monk won. I believe it was 1 or 2 with Washington. I'm not entirely sure, but But I think it's a great list. I think Jerry Rice, you can't argue, is one. But like I think about guys like maybe Chris Carter's not in it because I think probably the postseason thing maybe probably would have dragged that down statistically. But all in all, I think it's a pretty solid list.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Debo Vibes.
Yeah, it's an interesting list. I mean, it does fit everything with the criteria. That's a decent list right there. But well, I would say I don't know how you could leave off Calvin Johnson, but once again, we're talking about postseason. So I feel you on that right there. I am surprised though that you left out someone who is one of my all-time favorite receivers, which is Mark Clayton for the Miami Dolphins. Mark Clayton was an exceptional wide receiver, Dan Marino's favorite target. He actually, I think in '84, he broke the NFL record for most touchdowns in the season with 18, I believe. He played, Mark Dubert. They combined for the Marx brothers. So, but other than that, yeah, I would say that's spot on. And kudos to you for recognizing the old school receivers back in the day, like you said, the Paul Warfields of the world and the Raymond Berries, etc. So, by that criteria right there, I would agree with. But I do, agree with Ladarius. Like I would have put Art Monk in there. Because of all the things Art Monk had done as well, particularly with the Redskins and then later on with the Jets. He does have a Super Bowl ring, so and he does have the numbers to match too, but Andre Reed, that's another one. That's another good one right there. But of course, to put someone in, you had to take someone out. And just looking at the list right here, it'd be hard pressed to take someone out, because of the criteria that you instill, with all the receivers being in the categories that you said. But definitely, for the postseason absences, so to speak, I would definitely say, Calvin Johnson. But again, no postseason. So, but other than that, it's a NFL historians list. That's why I like it. But I deem myself someone as an NFL historian. So just by looking at the list right there, I would put Fitzgerald a little higher though than 8. To be honest with you, I would put him a little higher than 8, because one thing that I know I'm being long when I apologize, but one thing that I appreciate is a player spends his entire career with just one team. That in of itself can that I love when players do that. So you look at guys like the Marvin Harrisons, the Larry Fitzgeralds. That's going to be rare, and I don't think we'll ever see it again. But other than that, it's a solid list right there. It's one that any NFL historian will appreciate that.
Well, I got something to say. Now, y'all know Jordan is my friend, so I say this with all of the love in my heart. But speaking for the Gen Xers of the world, Jordan, you got some splaining to do. Okay? Are you ready? Where the hell is Lynn Swann? 4 Super Bowls. Where the hell is Lynn Swann? And secondly, where the hell is Fred Biletnikoff? 1 Super Bowl, 1 AFL championship. Dude got it done. All right. These were my heroes in the 70s when I was a kid sitting on my mom's bed watching football. What up with that? Like, where were these guys in your list, Jordan? I need to know. What happened?
All right. Well, I'm going to start off from the beginning. When I was doing this list, I was going through when I was trying to figure out like who to analyze and why I would even consider them. I took in postseason success into consideration. I looked at just in general who's top 10 all time in yards and went down the list. So a couple guys I did not look at that were mentioned. I didn't look at Andre Reed because I know that his projected stats aren't going to be that high. He's got 4 Super Bowl appearances, which put him maybe average in terms of postseason success because he didn't win any, but he went to 4. So he'll probably be in like an average category. In terms of awards, he doesn't necessarily have the most awards. And I'd also have to look at just if he's ever led the league in catches, yards, or touchdowns. And then also Mark Clayton and Lynn Swann, those are the other two I did not look at. Mark Clayton doesn't have the awards to his resume. His projected stats would not be very high. And doing this for so long, you kind of can see where a player's projected stats to 2025 would look like.
Okay.
And Mark Clayton would not be, I don't think he would be in the top 30. And on top of the awards, on top of the postseason success too, compared to other receivers. Not saying any of these guys didn't have success, but compared to the long list of other receivers, it's just not there. And then Lynn Swann, I didn't look at because his postseason. I thought about doing Stallworth and Swann because 4 Super Bowls, they would automatically be probably top 5 in postseason success.
Mhm.
The issue is I don't think projected stats, they would be very high. They didn't lead the league many times in those big 3 stats. And they frankly didn't have the awards compared to other players. So those were probably the 2 names that I'm probably thinking about doing next when I'm like analyzing my list. But other guys, Chris Carter, I looked at Chris Carter, I have at 14. So when I say these other players, it's
I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry. That was mean, Ladarius. Get that hate out your heart, Ladarius. Okay, get that hate out your heart. Okay, that was mean and hateful. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jordan. Ladarius just being mean today.
All the players on the rest of this list will fluctuate. They could go higher or lower depending on what other players I add. Because if I add Lynn Swann and John Stallworth, anyone with less postseason success will drop, but anyone with more postseason success will get higher. And that goes for every other category, whether if someone has higher or lower of a certain amount. Calvin Johnson is my favorite wide receiver ever. I have one of my first jerseys I ever got is a Detroit Lions custom jersey that says Megatron on it. I loved watching that dude. He's one of my favorite players ever. When I was doing this list, it hurt me. He is at 17, heavily because not just, but his postseason success, he was 35th out of the 35 quarterbacks. Like it's just not. It sucks that he didn't like. If I look at Brandon Marshall, he'll have a higher postseason success than Brandon Marshall, who didn't go to a playoff game. But it sucks he didn't have that postseason success. On top of that, he didn't play a long. And when he was playing, he played, and there were some years he got hurt. Some years he got hurt and he didn't play long enough. And then there would be other years where he's leading the league in all these different categories. So he didn't play long enough to add to his longevity to dominance ratio. He didn't play long enough to add more awards. He's 18th out of 35 receivers in awards. But what makes it number 17 is he was 12th statistically and 7th in times leading the league in catches, yards, or touchdowns. A couple other names that you guys mentioned, Fred Biletnikoff, I have him at 21 right now. I don't remember why he wasn't higher. It was probably the longevity to dominance ratio. That was probably it. That probably was it. And probably the awards. I'm pretty sure he didn't make many Pro Bowls or all pros. But he has some on top of what he's already done, and statistically he's very good. Art Monk, out of the 35 receivers I looked at, I thought he would actually be a shocker to me and like be really high. But out of the 35 receivers I looked at, he was 31st. I think maybe he had the longevity to dominance, but I think maybe it was the awards. He's got the postseason success. I think statistically his numbers just don't project very well to the NFL today. So they don't significantly increase to this year. So I thought he would have been higher. I was looking forward to that one. I was like, you know what, Art Monk's probably going to surprise me, but he didn't. And then one name I'm going to throw out that you guys didn't mention, but I will anyway. I did look at Julio Jones. I think it only made sense. I looked at 3 active players, and I looked at a couple of names like Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. Julio was 30th of 35. That a lot of it had to do with he didn't have a good longevity to dominance ratio because he was hurt a lot. His receiving touchdowns killed him in the projected stats. Like outside of touchdowns, looked great, but if you factor in his touchdowns, it really killed his whole stat line. So he's got the awards. He's gonna go to Hall of Fame one day. But yeah, that's where Julio ended up.
All right, guys. Well, it's time for a bit of a shift here. This one is going to be Falcon centric. Now, Kirk Cousins went on Good Morning the America. Jesus Christ, Good Morning America, and had a little conversation. And we're going to do this twofold, right? So we got our Falcon compatriots here, the 4 of us, and then we have non-Falcon. One Saints guy. Shh, don't tell anybody. Then we have non-Falcons guys, right? And I'm going to ask the non-Falcons guys what they thought of it and if there was a party foul. And then I'm going to bring it home with the Falcons guys, and we're going to talk about it. So Kirk Cousins goes on Good Morning America. Now, to set the scene, in week 10, I believe, versus the Saints, Kirk Cousins got his right arm bent back, and his elbow and shoulder were damaged. The next game, he was listed as, partial, optional. What is it? What's the classification when it's you might play, you might not? What is that?
Questionable.
Probable. Thank you. So he was listed as questionable for the game after that, but after that he wasn't mentioned again. When they asked him about it in the media, he was like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm fine. Then this week, he goes on Good Morning America and says, oh, no, my arm, my elbow, and my shoulder, my neck and my back. No, my elbow and my shoulder were really hurt. Okay. And they were. For all intents and purposes, anybody who watched the Falcons last year could see Kirk getting no velocity on it from week 10 throughout the end of the season. So I really think his shoulder and or elbow were impacted. I don't know if they needed surgery, but they were definitely hurt from that. But this was after lying to the fans and the local media. You go to the national media and you make a statement like that. Not only that, but you had the Falcons brass in on your lie because they were like, no, he wasn't hurt either. So the question that I have for you, Liam, and for you, Jordan, is if this were your team, would you look at Kirk as being disloyal for basically airing dirty business out there to the masses? Give me your thoughts.
Liam, you want to take this?
Sure. I don't know a whole bunch about it, but like, if it was, say, like Mahomes was dealing with injury and then blatantly like lied about it, and I feel like I would be a little upset, especially if you're saying you're fine and then you can't get any velocity and your play as a whole is impacting the team. So I feel like you have to, I guess, kind of man up and be like, yeah, I'm not okay. So if you're hurting the team, then it's kind of hurting just the whole city and just affecting the whole morale to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple.
Thank you, man.
I haven't seen Drew Brees do that. But I've seen a lot of Eagles quarterbacks do that. I've seen Vic go out there, play hurt. I've seen Wentz go out there, play hurt. I've seen Jalen Hurts go out there and play hurt. And because it's kind of one of those things that in Philly, you gotta man. It's sort of this like awful notion of like you got to man up for the city, and I mean, some guys go out there. I've seen Jalen go out there with an injured shoulder and throw a game-winning touchdown against the Bears. And I've seen Carson Wentz go out there hurt and toss a couple interceptions and lose us the game. So it's one of those things that like they should have spoke about this earlier. You shouldn't have waited this long because I do think it did some damage, especially with like with my situations with Hurts and Wentz and Vic. They were already the starters. There was nobody behind them to like come in and be the future of the franchise. Cousins gets hurt. You got your future, your franchise on the bench there. So doing this late is that's really questionable. I think the team might look at that as a huge negative and just turn towards Penix to say like, hey, it's your team.
Good deal. All right, my internal folk, Debo, we're gonna start with you, man. Was this a party foul? Is he dry snitching? Should he have just kept his mouth shut? Because really, his agent could reach out to teams and be like, hey, man, Kirk was hurt. You know, I know what you saw in the media, but here's the real deal. Kirk didn't have to do this. Was this unnecessary roughness on Kirk? Was this foul, or is this just the way it is? Like, give me your thoughts on it.
No, I mean, as far as Kirk Cousins is concerned, I think that man's a coward, to be straight up honest with you. Because this man, he's out there, he knows he's hurt. He knows he can't get a job done. He knows he's underperforming. We see it, but every Wednesday, every Tuesday, where the case may be, he will go up there and people asking him, like, look, Kurt, is there anything going on with you? And he'd be like, well, now I just got to, get out of my right. No, he knew he was hurt. Right. That's the problem. He knew full well he was hurt. His shoulder was all jacked up and his elbow was jacked up. And at this point, we're 6-3. So we can make a serious playoff run. And so if he's sitting there going out there underperforming, he can't perform 100%, and he's out there lying, then that's an issue right there. And we all see it. But for him to come out on Good Morning Football or whichever platform, I think it was Good Morning Football. So for him to go out there, he's like, yeah, I was a little, the elbow and shoulder and this, that, and the other. Then consequently, you sit there and lie to the entire Falcons fan base. Period, point blank. And the thing about it, and the reason I think he did was because he knew Michael Penix. Once Michael Penix got in there, Kirk Cousins will never see the field ever again in a Falcons uniform. Yeah, and that's why he kept doing that. But in the process of him doing that, he's killing our team.
Yeah, no,
he's killing the team with 2. Yeah, bro, the team with 2-6.
I agree wholeheartedly with that last point. Okay, and I made this point on an earlier show. My wife and I have been married 30 years. If my wife and I, if we were dating and she goes, oh, I'm dating this other guy. Let's call him, I don't know, Shamar Moore, who's, one of the most handsome men on the planet. If I let her go out with Shamar Moore, it's over. Okay? It's over. She ain't coming back. No, she ain't coming back. Okay? Zach, Mariah, and Maya never even happened because she belongs to Shamar now. Okay? Hey, wherever you are, Shamar, hey, man, good for you, bro. But Kim's mine. You can't have her. But in all seriousness, I agree with you. I think that was a part of it because I think Kirk knew that once people see that arm and you let Penix get in there if you want to, he wasn't coming back. My question to you, however, is the Falcons had to know. They have doctors. They have doctors who are very thorough. They had to know the extent of his injury. They had to know it. So my question for you was, and yeah, I think it was foul on his part, but I think the Falcons knew it. And if they knew and still didn't make the decision, what are your thoughts on that?
I can't see. I'm under the impression that, like you said, team doctors and everything, and I'm under the impression that Raheem Morris went to Kirk Cousins and asked, like, look, how bad is it? Can you still play? And I think Kirk Cousins said, yeah, coach, I can still play. At that point, all Raheem Morris can do is go by what the quarterback is telling him. He'll know he doesn't feel the pains or discomfort of his own quarterback. He's listening to the doctors, but at the end of the day, you have to ask your quarterback, can you still go out there and play? Because now I got to sit you down. If he's sitting there saying, yeah, coach, I can still go out there and play, then Raheem Morris, I think, he'll be like, okay, go out there. I can't see them knowing the full scope of his injury and still letting that man go out there and play. I can't see that. If that's the case, then no, somebody has to go. Somebody has to go. You want to go out there and trot out a broke down quarterback who's getting killed out there, bro. He's getting killed as it is. Each time he says he's fumbling the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got a rookie quarterback waiting in the wings, and the entire and there are players and personnel saying in practice, Michael Penix is just eating Kirk Cousins' lunch. He's the dude.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Yeah.
So, but like I said, the only way I can see them still letting Kirk Cousins play is that he was telling them, "I'll be all right. I'll be all right." Until finally said, "No, you're not okay." But by the time that happened, there's 3 games left. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So it's a wrap. So if the Falcons indeed knew that you know what I'm saying there was something going on with him and they didn't do anything about it, then shame on them. That's crazy as hell. But what's a possibility? Because we all remember those press conferences that Raheem Morris said, "Kurt's my guy. He's my guy. That's my guy." And he's swerving down. Kirk Cousins will get out of his funk and make things happen. That couldn't happen because of that injured elbow, injured shoulder.
Debo, you know what? I just had a great idea.
So,
hey guys on the show, are you guys okay if we give Raheem Morris a call? Are you guys okay with that? Seriously, are you guys okay if we give Raheem Morris a call? You guys aren't going to say anything? I'm seriously asking. Are you okay?
Why don't we?
Hey, do me a favor, man. Go ahead and make your screen dark because I know Raheem's your boy. We don't want his number being advertised. Go ahead and make your screen dark. We're going to go ahead and give Raheem a call. Is that all right? Can we do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
Look, I bet you he don't even want to do it. He's like, man, I don't want to call that man. He ain't answering the phone.
All right, we're gonna call Raheem now because we're gonna ask him if he knew. Look here on For My ATL Sports, we ask the tough questions. Here we go, guys. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Raheem.
Who is this?
Hey, this is T. Will. This is T. Will from For My ATL Sports 1. How you doing, Raheem?
Right. You two guy. Yeah, you two guy. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm just sitting here thinking about my timeouts. I love my timeouts, and I got that tattoo, by the way. Remember the tattoo I told you?
You get the tattoo?
Yeah, okay. The one that said, timeout for what? Yeah, timeout for what?
Timeout for what? Oh man,
one more time.
Hey, you might have.
What's going on, buddy? What's going on, guys? What's going on, bud? What's going on? Yeah,
hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, what's going on?
So I know you saw Kirk's interview, right, on Good Morning Football.
Yeah,
where he says that he really was hurt. Raheem, look, Falcon fans want to know: did you know about this? I know Kirk's your guy. Did Kirk tell you he was hurt?
See, here's the thing, Jay Will. So the thing about it is this, that's my guy. I love Kirk. Kirk, he got a 6'3". You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing about it. Hey, the standard is standard. Okay, we know that. And a standard for losers. He was out there, and he did his thing, and he threw interceptions. And but who doesn't, you know? And he told me he told me he's okay. I said, okay, go out there and do your thing, Kirk. Don't worry about anything. And you know, and the thing about it is it's so funny that, you know, now we gotta talk about this. You know, now we gotta talk about it. And then Kirk say something. You know, he says like he you know, he runs his mouth too much. I told him, you're like, Kirk, you run your mouth too much. And if you run your mouth too much, you know, things happen. And things happen, you know. But like,
so you did have a talk with Kirk then.
So you're not listening. You're not listening. There you go. You're not paying attention to what I'm saying. You never pay attention to what I'm saying. All right. Like I said before. I told you. I told D-Led. I told Zeno. I told Tori. You know. Look. We talked. What happens inside the walls happens inside the walls. Like I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get in discussion and arguing with a YouTube guy.
Raheem, I don't know why you're getting mad at me. I'm just saying what Kirk said, all right? We're friends, Rob. I don't ever want to fall out with you, Rob, but Kirk said what he said, man. I'm just asking, like...
Was this a collaborative decision?
Yeah, this is a good point. Was this a collaborative decision, Rob?
Okay. Now, I'm not going to have you guys team up on me, okay? That's not what's going to happen. All right? I'm not going to team up, right? Right. You know, I told it like I told the guys in Jersey. You know, one man to man. Okay, all right. AB conversation. See you way out. Like, okay. But you know, Kirk told me he was okay, and that's my guy. Kirk says he's okay. He said a little minor issues. That's okay. He's my guy.
Well, hey man, look it. Hey, Rob.
His runs is not too much, but you know, hey, you know, who doesn't? You know?
It's all good, man. Hey, we just appreciate you joining us, man. Look it, we want you to enjoy your weekend, and hey, man, watch the Super Bowl, and hopefully, you know, next year this can be us in the Super Bowl. So, hey, thank you for joining us, Coach Rob, and have a great day, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Super Bowl. What's that? What's Super Bowl? The thing that we'll never get to as long as I'm a head coach. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. I got to run, buddy. I got to run, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Coach Rob.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Wow. Coach Rob, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, man, thanks for getting him on the phone, Debo. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
C-Dub.
I got to say one thing right quick, man, in reference to Kirk Cousins. I don't know if you guys knew about it, but what really upset me, what really pissed me off about Kirk Cousins is that I don't know if you knew, but down there in New Orleans, you know, media's down there and everything participating, and the Orlando Ledbetter saw Kirk Cousins, and he wanted to have a conversation with Kirk Cousins. They've had a long-standing relationship this year with the media. The Orlando Ledbetter is one of the most respected reporters, not just in football, but all of Atlanta, period. Okay, he's been doing this for a long, long time. So what happened, make a long story short, the Orlando Ledbetter asked Kirk Cousins for a couple of words, and he asked a couple of words. They talked for a little bit, but apparently Kirk Cousins had some bodyguards with him or a security detail with him, and D-Led pressed a question, and Kirk Cousins like, I'm done. This is over with. I'm not going to talk to you pretty much. The security detail or whoever was with Kirk, he's like, this is not media. You cannot ask him any more questions. And D-Led was like, I know Kirk Cousins. I don't know why he's acting like he don't know me type of deal. I just want to talk to the man. And Kirk Cousins basically walked away from D-Led and had no words for him. Now you got to keep in mind, this man, when everything was going all good, him and D-Led, he's telling D-Led everything, have smile and everything. He knows who D Orlando Ledbetter is. Right. He knows who he is. And for him to sit there and treat D-Led like that I'm done with him. He's dead to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not going to talk about the whole thing where he took off his he was wearing a Falcon shirt during one of his events, and then he put a black shirt over it so no one saw the Falcon. Hey, if you don't want us, we don't want you either. It's good riddance. That's how I look at it. And I touched on that in one of my videos. It's a wrap, bro. And like I said, for him to do what he did, to put this season in jeopardy, knowing that if all we gotta do is simply put the younger kid in there to ride out and just win one more game.
Yeah.
Had we just won one more game, we would have been in the playoffs. That's it. And for him to be that selfish to go out there and play as hard as he was. And I get what Jordan said about, hey, you got to go out there and play, you know, the Vic, you know what I'm saying, and Jalen and all that. But those are certified starting quarterbacks without nobody behind them who can do better than them. Right. Well, there's a guy behind Kirk Cousins who could have done better than him, outperform him, win some games, get you to the playoffs. Kurt didn't want that. Kurt didn't want to come out the damn field. And because of that, we missed out on playoffs. And we missed out on a damn draft pick. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
So, that guy's dead to me. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is, though.
Woo! Well, hey man, I just don't want you to hold anything back, Debo. Okay, I need you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that.
Let us know how you really feel.
Let y'all know how I really feel, huh? Yeah.
Oh wow. C-Dub, I think you got out C-Dub. Like, I think he took all of your angst and all of your anger and put it into that take. Like, you're like a cuddly kitten right now. Like, I don't know, but give me your thoughts.
Oh, really? Just wait, because I even had people calling me a racist for my opinion.
We're not gonna.
Oh no! We're not going there. But I am going to go in because, this doesn't just affect Kurt. So, how collaborative is this decision?
And that's a good question. That is a good question.
Raheem talks about collaborative. Mid-manager, the what's called the store manager, who's really not the store manager. He's more like the replenishment manager. Doesn't really know how to run the store. He just think he could talk to everybody and forget to do his main job. That's what we're dealing with. Because when you ever ask Terry a question, and the two gentlemen that are not Falcon fans, let me open the portal of hell for you. You say, who made the decision? This man will look you in the eye and go, well, it's collaborative. Okay. Who's part of that decision? We are. Okay, look, Yoda, could you tell me who is part of the collaboration? Because obviously you're not the one that says, I did it. We get it. So I look at Terry. I look at Raheem. Guys, does Raheem need to wear glasses? I got a pair. Because we watch practice or walkthroughs. Question: when the heck are we ever going to ask the question of, what were they watching? I mean, did they just see Kurt and Kurt's like, I'm not really feeling up to it. Okay, that's cool, Kurt. We got you back. Way back here. Because we were going through walkthroughs. We weren't practicing, it looks like. Brian Fitterman brought that up. A lot of guys were bringing that up. And then the question I had, if Kurt, because if he goes to the training staff for any treatment, they have to document everything. Well, we watched in the NFL quarterback, and a lot of us talk about how we really respected Kurt. But here's the question. How many times did he seek treatment outside the team? And here we are again. I'm going to tell you, Kurt's a con man. And if anyone wants to tell me, oh, man, no, C-Dub, you got to give him a chance. No. Chances, no. You could go, take a hike. I mean, I lived through 28-16. I don't care. All right? When I look at Kirk Cousins, he is not Matt Ryan. He does not deserve the latitude, like D. Led, trying to talk to the man.
Yeah.
Here is your chance to try to smooth things over. And now you're going to give him the cold shoulder. You're going to give him the Heisman. My thing is this. If you're a man, own up to your stuff. All right? You could tell us everything you want. I am tired of being lied to and being BS to. And that's what this organization has been. They are jokes. The other thing that no one's talked about, Terry Fontenot didn't show up to the Senior Bowl.
Right.
Terry Fontenot wasn't scouting nobody. Oh, but every GM was there or contacted Mr. Nagy. Why did Jim Nagy feel compelled to point Terry out then? That's pretty awful. When you have two teams in the Super Bowl, three teams that don't have GMs, but we're the only one that decided not to go. And again, I look back at this. You know what really bothers me isn't Kirk Cousins that says what he said. Oh, Terry, remember what we were talking about when Koo was hurting? If you're covering up for a kicker,
Yeah.
why would you be, why are we covering up for a kicker? Oh, and now we have a quarterback. Why are we covering up for a quarter? To me, this is John, what you call it? John Harris's famous quote, guys. You fart in an elevator, everyone gets blamed for it. And that's what the Falcon organization is. And that's a collaborative effort.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go that far.
And I will talk to Mike Smith too for you.
Yeah. What I will say, number one, I think Marquise, the special teams coordinator, is coaching one of those teams down there, right? So there is a Falcon contingent down there now. Again, I don't know why Terry's not down there, but there are Falcon personnel down there, and they are evaluating folks. And look, in my humble opinion, should Kirk have come out and said that? No, he didn't have to. I definitely think Kirk probably has some feelings about initially them drafting Penix. I think that he felt like he was lied to. But he did not have to come out and do it. I understand why he did it, right? Mm-hmm. You put that out there because what you're really saying is, look, the reason I didn't perform last year was not Father Time, as most of you think. The reason I didn't perform last year was that I was injured, but he didn't have to. His agent could have done that. His agent could have done that with teams in the background, and he could have done a workout for folks if there were still some concerns about it. But either way, just wanted to know, look, I think they're both wrong in some areas. I think they're both right in some areas. At this point, it looks like Kirk is doing what's best for him, and the Falcons are doing what's best for them. And, hey, man, at this point, we just move on. So, next topic.
We could get a trade out of it because because of the salary hurt, because we're not looking good in the salary cap.
No, we're not. I think we're going to what was I saying? Yeah, I think he's trying to get released. I think that's the other part of this is he has more leverage if he gets released. And I think that's the goal. But anyway, guys, we're going to move on to Super Bowl predictions. So, because our two non-Falcon fans have teams.
I mean, there's the competitors, actually. We should do like a 2-2 where they're like facing each other. It's like, all right, guys, give us a promo and tell us why.
How do we do that? How do we do the 2 for 2? I'm trying to.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you just move yourself and just kind of but honestly, we're still here. So it's all good. Don't worry. We know who's who.
All right. So, yeah. Hey, this is probably the best I can do. I got them next to each other. Super Bowl predictions, guys. Super Bowl 59. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to hear some shit talking. I want to hear who's going to win. I want to hear what you're going to do to the opposing team. And because right now the Chiefs rule the world and I'm still pissed at them, we're going to go to Jordan first. Jordan, give me your thoughts. What are your Eagles going to do to these guys on Sunday? And
what will the refs allow them to do?
We're going to win.
Not enough passion.
We're going to win.
No. I'm
27-17.
No.
We're going to win the Super Bowl.
No, that's not enough passion.
We're going to beat a dynasty.
No. I need an angry run. I need you to do it angry. I need you to tell me, what are you going to do?
My voice doesn't allow me to do that.
Oh, damn. I forgot. You're just as sick
my
as
voice
I am.
don't do it.
Okay.
My voice don't allow me to do that.
I'm wrong for that. I'm hype off this cold medicine. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Well, Jordan, in your best kick-ass, I got a cold voice. What are you going to do to those Chiefs?
We're going to beat them. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
You
got nothing else.
You know what? Hold on. He didn't have to put much stank on it. I got you, Jordan. You did good. I appreciate that.
You got nothing else?
No.
How many sacks you going to get? How many pickoffs? What you going to do?
All right. So if I'm being honest, I'm pretty confident. this playoff run has been the most angry playoff run I've ever experienced for any sports team. I've been just frustrated with how the media and social media has been treating this Eagles team against the Packers, against the Rams, against the Commanders. Everybody's been wanting this team to lose. And now there's people who would rather see a three-peat than see the Eagles win a Super Bowl. So I've never been so frustrated. So I'm ready. I've been ready since the Commanders game. I've been ready since week 1. The last time we played the Chiefs, I'm not talking about the Super Bowl, but last year, the Eagles did not have the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator to achieve any of this. We now have Vic Fangio, who's one of the greatest defensive minds ever. We have 21 out of the 22 starters from week 1 playing. The only starter that's not playing is Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean obviously tore his patella against I think that was the Packers game. So Oren Burks is going to be filling in for him. But otherwise, I mean, I'm really confident. The one area that the Chiefs have been struggling with in the playoffs is stopping the run. It's very interesting. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher these last 2 games, but Joe Mixon and James Cook were both so efficient running against them. They very easily could have ran for over 100 yards if their offenses were just smart enough to realize, hey, maybe we should keep giving this guy the ball. So now we have the Offensive Player of the Year, 2000 club running back, Saquon Barkley. I can't wait. I can't wait to see him on Sunday. What we saw, I mean, the Eagles played in New Orleans earlier this year, and Saquon broke the long run for a touchdown. And I see it happening again. I see Saquon going nuts. He might not get 200. Like that's like some people are like, oh, he's gonna get 200 yards rushing. I'm not going there. The record for most rushing yards in a Super Bowl is 205. So if you're gonna look at any milestone, look at that one. But yeah, I'm very confident. I think schematically speaking, all the Chiefs' vulnerabilities are the Eagles' strengths, and the Eagles don't need to play like they played against the Commanders. I mean, if they play like they did against the Rams, then I'll be happy. A turnover-free game. You don't even need to throw the ball. I don't need to see Hurts throw the ball at all. And a lot of people, the media, I mean, this is a whole other segment I could go off on how everybody hates Jalen Hurts. But he doesn't need to throw the ball. The defense doesn't need to shut down everybody. They just need to play their way of football. And I'm confident that they can win this game. My score prediction is 27-17. I have Devontae Smith winning MVP. I think Devontae has done really well every single time that the Eagles played the Chiefs, and dude's going back to his hometown in New Orleans. So I think it's a storybook ending for Devontae Smith. Yeah, I'm very confident. Last thing, the 2017-18 Super Bowl was really exciting. It was new ground that I was around. It was the first time I ever saw the Eagles in a Super Bowl. So it was very exciting. The 2022 run, it was more of like, okay, this is cool. Like I like this team. I like where they're headed. This team is hungry, and I can't wait. I want them to play right now.
Jordan, you're such a nice person. I can't even believe you're from Philadelphia, man. So I'm going to talk shit for you, okay? Because that just was not good enough, okay? So, Liam, are you listening?
Sure.
I'm channeling my inner Jordan. This is what Jordan was really saying. We're going to run it down your throat. We're going to run it down your throat so bad that your food's going to taste like Philadelphia Bulldog Eagle cleat, and we're going to kick your ass by double digits. That's what he was saying. That's not how it came out because Jordan is too nice of a guy. But look it, man. We gotta be honest here. All right. So with that being said, Mr. Liam, fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, kings of the world right now, I need to know from you, and I needed to be passionate. I don't need that nice guy shit. All right? I needed to be passionate. Why are you guys going to kick the Eagles' ass, Liam? I need to know. What's going to happen?
Well,
I got you.
I'm not going to lie. Saquon is definitely the one player on the Eagles that worries me on Sunday. Because, like you said, Cook and Mixon, they ran all over our team. They just stopped running the ball. Like, I think Mixon had almost average 5 yards a carry, and then Cook averaged like 6.5, and they just stopped running the ball, which not going to complain because it helped. So yeah, if the Chiefs can somewhat just hold Barkley, like not shut him down, you're not shutting him down, but just hold him to just an average game for his standards, I'm confident they can win. I feel like Super Bowl time, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, they all are just different coming in the Super Bowl. And I feel like that defense is,
oh boy,
they can lock down some of the receivers, and it's just Barkley that they need to stop, and they got that Swifty magic.
You guys are just too damn nice. So I'll tell you what, man, I'm gonna invite you and Jordan to the T. Will and Eric Parker shit talking class because you guys need help talking shit. So here's what he's really saying,
Terry,
Jordan.
Terry, let me do it.
All right.
I'm gonna do you well, Liam.
Go ahead.
We're gonna do this right.
Go ahead.
Heidi ho here, Kermit the Frog here, and I would like to say that my team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and Hail Satan, the referees, we are going to Philadelphia. Wait, no. Oh, New Orleans. Even better. That's where they have that voodoo, don't they? That's right. We're going to cast all the spells possibly. Yay! And then we're going to go. We got Swifty. She's going to put her voodoo on the Eagles. And we're just going to beat the Eagles. That's what we're going to do. And if it's a close game, I just look over to my buddy, the ref. I do my winky wink and my little tongue hanging out and go, and he goes, personal foul, 15 yards, first down. Like we did in 2022. Okay, thank you, Liam, for being a loyal fan because, I'm Kirk. Well, I'm not Kirk because I'm Kermit the Frog here. Yay!
Thank you, Kermit. We appreciate that. We really do. We appreciate that, sir. We appreciate you, sir. But no, I'm gonna sign you guys up for a shit talking class because you guys are too nice. Okay, so. Yeah, let me help you out. Jordan, this is what Liam was really saying. We got 3 rings, player. 1, 2, 3. Check it. Check the record. We've been to 7 AFC championships in a row. We've been here before you, and we're going to be here after you, and we're going to kick some Eagle ass on Sunday. That's what he was saying.
I feel like Terry was tapping into the angry security protective agency for Obama there.
You guys are just so nice. Well, I think that our offensive line and I think whatever, man. This is football, all right. I know you guys are friends, but you're not friends on Sunday. Damn it.
Actually, they're going to be talking to each other. This has been a good game. What do you think? Oh man, I've been really enjoying this. It's really
I'm keeping it real. All right, so hey, one of our fans says, ask about the Billy Pin curse and how it's broken. You guys know anything about? Well, you're the historian, Jordan. You heard anything about the Billy Pin curse?
The what?
Oh, I'm gonna say that.
I've never.
Detroit Lion one where they did something that brought a porta potty in the end zone or something.
You know what? Let's ask the Google A.
I've never heard of this.
I mean,
curse of Billy Penn. Billy Penn. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know the curse. Yeah. So, William Penn. We have a William Penn statue in Philly, and it was faced a certain way, and ever since there was like a building that got built right in front of the building, so the William Penn statue is like covered up by this building, and ever since then there was this like curse put on like Philly sports teams, but they made like renovations or something, and then the Phillies went and won the World Series in 2008.
Okay.
I don't. It's no longer a thing. It used to be a thing, but it's no longer a thing anymore.
Okay. All right.
I remember that when I haven't heard that in so long. I haven't heard that probably since I was in elementary school.
All right. So I got a question for Liam. Liam, being that you are a Chiefs fan, and again, this hate is not directed towards you. I promise. It's only to your team. I only hate them. I don't hate you. I'm sure one day we'll be friends, but this hate is directed at them.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys, Jordan, cover your ears. If you guys win on Sunday, being that you will be the first NFL team in the Super Bowl era to three-peat, are you them dudes? Are you better than the Patriots? Give me your thoughts. Because nobody's ever done it 3 in a row. Not the Steelers, not the 49ers, nobody.
Not them Cowboys.
Not them Cowboys either, buddy. Never one of them.
I feel like if the Chiefs three-peat, there could be an argument made. However, I don't think we would take over the Patriots as being the best dynasty because of the longevity of theirs, and just I also don't think if Mahomes wants to be in like the GOAT conversation with like Brady, he would have to win like 8 rings because of that one Super Bowl in Tampa that he got beat by Brady.
Damn it. I really wanted to dislike you, Liam, and you're making it so hard. Shit.
I really
honest,
like
that
was
you,
the right answer.
I
too.
really,
That's the sad part.
Damn it. He's like a puppy. Damn it. Like, I really wanted to dislike him. Shit, man. I need you to be less likable, Liam. I really do. All right. So, Jordan. Damn you, Liam. You're just too nice.
I'll be less likable after Sunday.
Hey, I can get with that, brother. I can get with that. 28-3.
If our team won 3 in a row, guess what? We wouldn't be wouldn't be tolerable either. Don't worry. We understand. You have a right.
If our team won 2 in a row or 3 in a row, I probably wouldn't be alive. I don't think I would. I don't think I'd.
Yeah, you would have done something crazy.
I don't think I'd. All right, so Jordan, you guys win on Sunday, right? With everything that your franchise went through this season, you guys win on Sunday. What's the first thing you're doing?
I don't know. I mean, I've already kind of put this in my head that like if the Eagles were to win, then we're one drive away from the Eagles being a dynasty. Like I don't think anyone's thought about that.
What now?
So all right, let's say the Eagles win on Sunday, right? That's 2 Super Bowls since 2017, within a 10-year time frame. So we're one drive that in the 2022 Super Bowl away from a dynasty. And I mean, there's a lot of players who are on this team that were on the team back in 2017. Lane Johnson was on the team, Rick Lovato, Jake Elliott. There's a couple guys who have been on a lot of coaching staff. Howie Roseman is the architect of all of these teams that have made the Super Bowl. And I don't think anybody really thinks about that. I mean, a lot of people, they think about the dynasties of the obvious dynasties here. The Packers of the 60s, the Steelers of the 70s, the Niners of the 80s, the Cowboys of the 90s, the Patriots of the 21st century, and now the Chiefs. but they missed like the Redskins of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Well, 80s and 90s. They missed the Raiders of the 70s and 80s. And I mean, I'm just saying, we could be talking about a potential for an Eagles dynasty. I won't talk about that though. I don't know what the first thing I'm gonna do is. I might cry for one thing only, and that's Saquon. Saquon's probably one of the greatest athletes I've ever watched and rooted for. He's from Whitehall. My middle school coach literally coached against him in track and field competitions. His impact on this area is just so immense. I met his dad when he was only a freshman at Penn State. I mean, I've had the privilege to watch Saquon play his entire career, and in college, and I've never seen a player quite like him from just a humble standpoint. And he never wants like the big contract. He just wants to prove his doubters wrong and be the best player that he can be and win. Most importantly, win. And I think that's what makes Jalen and him such a special combo, that I don't think in NFL history you can find a combo quite like Jalen and Saquon from a mentality standpoint. So I will be thoroughly excited. It will be tears of joy. I don't know. I mean, I was so after the 2017 Super Bowl, that was the first Super Bowl for the Eagles, and it was just this overwhelming excitement. I think about that day every single day, probably of my life, that I think about the Eagles, and I don't think there's any way Sunday will ever compare to that. So
y'all went the Super Bowl in '81, I think, against the Red. You lost, but y'all went in '81.
Yeah, we went, but we never won.
But
yeah, we haven't won. 2017 was when we won. And I don't think anything. We could win 55-0 on Sunday, and it just won't be anything comparable
to that first time
in 20. Yeah. And
you cried tears in 2017? Did you cry?
Absolutely. Okay. And anyone who says they didn't is lying.
It's full of shit.
Oh
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Liam, when you guys won it first to win 2019?
Yep.
Did you cry real tears when you guys won it?
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
50 years.
Goddamn right.
I mean,
Goddamn right.
Cody Rhodes won the title. No one's ever asked me.
Hey, I feel that though.
I know, man. You finished the story, man. I was like all up. I can't rely on my Falcons to give me any joy, so I had to, live it through Cody. And, at least he's Georgia.
Oh man. Hey, C-Dub, if the Falcons win the Super Bowl, man, are you crying real tears?
Nah, I'm just gonna look at it like, about damn time. And then I'm gonna go to bed. I mean, probably will.
You're not gonna cry real tears if the Falcons win.
I don't know.
You're not gonna think about 2016, 28-3, and be like,
it's more like this. I got to get these riffraff that's by GM who wants to be a mid manager. I got to get tap dancing Raheem out of here, and then I could actually believe I can have faith in my team again. But honestly, it's just simple. It's like, if my guys can actually, if we got a Super Bowl run and we win it, God, it's gonna be nice. But man, it's hard for us, man. We've been through one. We got a blowout on us, and then we got the biggest choke job. So for Falcons fans, we're not really excited about the Super. Oh, we can party though. We know how to party. But
we do. Just ask the minister. Just ask the bishop.
Uh-huh.
Hey, we got a Dixon Way raid in the show, guys.
Yeah,
Dr. Dixon Way, what it do, man? How you doing? The hardest working dude in this business, man. ATL Kool-Aid drinkers, how you doing, man? Breeze 1500, ATL, rise up.
Yeah.
Kenzel, Dixon Way, raid. Breeze, Dixon
Yeah.
Way Raid, ATL Kool-Aid Drinkers, Dixon Way Raid, Solution
be in
Forge,
halftime.
Dixon Way Raid, Mumbai, Dixon Way Raid, and Dalupa, Dapluva. That's what we're gonna go with. Dixon Way Raid. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to
Welcome.
the show. All right, so let me ask you this, Debo.
Yes, sir.
Debo Vibes, my
Yes, sir.
guy. Both these dudes, man. Debo, we win the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
You crying real tears? What's up? What you doing?
No, I probably won't cry. I'll be happy as hell. But then here's the thing about being a Falcons fan, man. I will probably be like, I will have just the very second it ticked down to the final score, I will just be jumping for joy. But then until I realize we're talking about the Falcons, and I'll be like, man, how are they gonna mess this up next year? That'd probably be my first
I
thought.
wouldn't.
That probably real talk. That probably but
Damn.
for that particular moment. Oh, for sure. I'll be like A-Town all day. We finally did it. We, you know what I'm saying? We finally did a thing. But as far as crying, tears of joy and stuff like that, no, man, I probably wouldn't. Because the thing about it, there's no emotional attachment. Had we won with like Julio and Matt Ryan, you know what I'm saying, and Grady that's being his rookie year, you know what I mean? Then at that point you get a little emotional, like, look, these guys really, really did it. There's no emotional attachment. The team we have right now, there's no emotional attachment to it. You know what I mean? So, but if we do win though, and I'll be like, okay, good. Let's get it. Let's get it. ATL all day. We did it. But as far as tears of joy, probably not, because I probably the first thing come to my mind is like, okay, what's gonna happen next year, type of stuff. Because there's no consistency. You know what I mean? So that's how I think about it. No tears of joy whatsoever. I'll be happy. I'll probably be drunk crying. You know what I mean? But other than that, no. You know what I mean? But other than that, no. I wouldn't be crying like that though. Bobby,
There better be a watch party if that happens for us, because I'm telling you, with all the content creators we all know, man, we are a bunch of fools, and especially with the liquors running.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. If my beloved Atlanta Falcons, who I have been watching since 1976 AD, seen a lot of Falcons come and go. You know, I've seen hairstyles change. I've seen clothing styles change. I've seen cars and automobiles change. I've seen presidents change. My Falcons stay eternal. So on that blessed, beloved day, at that magical, majestical moment, when that clock hits zero and my Atlanta Falcons are number one in the land, I'm going to shed some tears, because it ain't just this year's Falcons that's going to win. That's going to be for everybody, Debo. That's going to be for Steve Bartkowski. That's going to be for Matt Ryan. That's going to be for Chris Chandler. That's going to be for Jamal Anderson. That's going to be for William Andrews. That's going to be for Wallace Francis. I could go on, but it will give our beloved Atlanta Falcons some legitimacy as a franchise, and no more will they be able to say 28-3. No more will they be able to see, oh, you Falcons, you're just clowns. They won't be able to say that anymore, because at the end of the day, it's about the name on the front, never about the name on the back. It's about the fact that they rep Atlanta, my city where I live, I love, and will die. And so if my Falcons do win, if I am blessed to still be alive when that clock hits zero, and my beloved Atlanta Falcons are the best team in the world, oh my God, it's going to be a party. Oh my God. I'm going to call everybody I know, even Jordan, and I'm going to talk some shit to Jordan for about 5 minutes. And I think Jordan will congratulate me, because Jordan's a nice guy. I'm going to be honest with you. If the Saints win another Super Bowl and they call me, and Jordan calls me, I'm probably not going to answer. Okay? I'm probably not going to answer. But Jordan is a decent guy, so I know he'll answer. And like the true friend I am, I'm going to talk shit to him, okay? Because he is a Saints fan. But the bottom line is, man, one of you two lucky gentlemen, Jordan or Liam, one of y'all is going to experience great success, and one of y'all is going to experience great failure, man. Let's go ahead and pivot to the Hall of Fame. we have some newly elected Hall of Famers. Jordan, I'm going to let you grab this one. Do you have the list of the folks that are going into the Hall of Fame, Jordan?
I do.
Okay.
So Jared Allen, edge rusher for in the late 2000s and 2010s with the Vikings, Panthers, Bears. I might be missing another team. Oh, Chiefs too. He started his career with the Chiefs. Eric Allen, cornerback. He played in the 90s with the Eagles, played with the Raiders. I'm not sure if he played with any other teams. He's most notably an Eagle. Sterling Sharp, one of the greatest primes for any receiver ever, played in the 90s with the Packers, had his career cut short due to injury. And finally, Antonio Gates in his second year of eligibility, a longtime Chargers tight end, one of the arguably the greatest tight end of all time. I feel like he has an argument to be made. All four of them are going to the Hall of Fame. Way too small of a class. I am so angry. I look for with NFL honors and the award ceremony, I look forward to the Hall of Fame more than I do the awards, because the Hall of Fame is something that all players strive for one day. And to see players and contributors and coaches get inducted, it's a heartwarming experience. I mean, like, my mom watches the Pro Football Hall of Fame inductions every year because it's such a heartwarming moment to see like these players celebrate their lives. And it is so frustrating that we only got 4 people inducted this year. So a lot of it has to do with Deion Sanders made comments a couple years ago saying that something along the lines of it was too easy to get people inducted. No, it's not. It's really hard to get players inducted in the can. There's a lot of guys still waiting. And then I think the Hall of Fame voters looked at that and were like, oh, I guess we gotta steepen the eligibility and all that stuff. And it's funny because Deion came back and said, like, a year ago, he's like, oh, Eric Allen should be in the Hall of Fame. Oh, this guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, he retracted his comments. Way too small of a class. A lot of guys didn't get in. I understand why Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, Adam Vinatieri didn't get in, because they seem to make first ballot Hall of Famers a special moment. It's only for the greatest of the greatest players. I don't even know if Drew Brees is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer now, because Drew Brees isn't in the conversation with Tom Brady, but he's in the conversation after Tom Brady. So I don't know if he's going to be. I don't know if Larry Fitzgerald's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you asked me 5 years ago, I would have said no, Drew Brees and Fitzgerald are locks, but I don't know anymore. And Adam Vinatieri is arguably the greatest kicker ever, and I'm shocked he made it this far, but he didn't get in. I'm not shocked those guys didn't get in. What I'm shocked with is you had a maximum of 5 modern era players that could have gotten in, and only Jared Allen, Eric Allen, and Antonio Gates got in. That's the minimum, meaning though they would rather have 2 open spots than induct Torrey Holt, Fred Taylor, Willie Anderson, any of the second year guys I just said, Kuechly, Eli Manning, and Adam Vinatieri. There's just a Reggie Wayne. There's Steve Smith Sr. There's a list of a bunch of guys that need to get into the Hall of Fame, and you would rather just not put anyone in. It's so frustrating. And then there's the whole issue with the senior finalists, contributors, coaches. I know Sterling got in. I've been saying it since our video back in September. I was like, Sterling Sharp's going into the Hall of Fame. But the other guys that didn't get in, Ralph Hay was the owner of the Akron Pros, and he's one of the originators to the NFL. My
Okay.
thought is, if there's a reason that this group of voters is in the room to vote on the Hall of Fame, then that guy should probably be in the Hall of Fame. And Mike Holmgren, I always thought he wasn't going to get in. I think he does deserve to get in, but I don't know. They're very stingy on coaches. I don't really know what they want in a coach to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know. The other two are Jim Tyrer, who he had a murder-suicide. He's in my opinion, he has a more than a Hall of Fame career. The issue is how do they divide the personal life and football career to induct this guy into Canton? That's a whole separate issue that has nothing to do with this. So I understand why they may or may not have him in. The other one was Max Ebon, who's a longtime Eagle linebacker. I think he should be in. Not having him in, I think that sucks. But yeah, they're way too small of a class. It's just awful for all the players, all the families involved, for all those finalists. It sucks.
Good deal, man. So let's put it out to the panel. Liam, 4 candidates for our Hall of Fame, or actually 4 inductees: Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Sterling Sharp. You know anything about either of these guys?
I mean, I loved watching Antonio Gates.
Okay.
Loved and hated it. He always torched the Chiefs, and it was frustrating watching it. But I just loved the way he played. He was just a great tight end, and he's probably one of my favorite tight ends that could play. Him, Tony Gonzalez. So I definitely feel like Antonio Gates deserves to be in, and he was just so fun to watch.
Yeah. I got you. Debo.
Yes, sir.
Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Sterling Sharp. Give me your thoughts.
Eric Allen, long overdue, man. Growing up, Eric Allen was one of my favorite lockdown corners, man. Eric Allen did most of this stuff in the late '80s, early '90s with that Eagles defense that featured Seth Joyner, of course, Reggie White, Clyde Simmons, and he played in the NFC East, man, that featured the likes of the Art Monk, Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders. Had to play against Stephen Baker, had to lock him down. Of course, he had to lock down Michael Irvin. A lot of people think Deion Sanders was the main guy who locked down Michael. A lot of people think Deion Sanders was the main guy that gave Michael Irvin problems. No, the main guy that gave Michael Irvin problems twice a year was Eric Allen when he played for the Eagles. So to finally have Eric Allen in there, man. And I think he was the first player in NFL history to have 4 pick sixes in a year back in, I think it's 94. 93 when he was still with the Eagles, man. Premier cornerback, man. He was like the cornerback of the likes of Aeneas Williams, who played for the Cardinals and played for the Rams, man. So super excited about Eric Allen finally getting in. Sterling Sharp, that's another one that took a long time, man. I can understand the longevity. He had a neck injury that showed his career. But the things that Sterling Sharp did, and I think like 87, 88, 89 with Don Mikowski, with a quarterback like that, he's still putting up numbers when, a lot of people remember, like I said, the Jerry Rice and the Michael Irvin. Well, Sterling Sharp, he was one of the premier receivers back in 89, 90, man. And then you team him up with Brett Favre. They did some crazy things, for those couple of years they were together before Sterling's neck injury. Yeah. But yeah, and of course, Jared Allen, the pass rusher for the Vikings and Chiefs, etc. Yeah, and Antonio Gates speaks for itself. So yeah, all those guys were fitting. But yeah, I agree with Jordan. I mean, when you read the list, it's like, okay, yes, Sterling Sharp, okay, Eric Allen, Jared Allen, okay, you know what I'm saying? Antonio Gates, okay. Well, hold on, where the rest of them at? That was it. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a shame to see 4 of them, but 4 high quality players in their time and well deserved the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, agreed. C-Dub. Gosh darn it. There we go. C-Dub, give me your thoughts. Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Sterling Sharp.
It would help if I unmuted myself. Honestly, I'm with you guys. Because I remember watching Eric Allen play. I remember watching Jared Allen play. I remember watching Sterling Sharp play. I thought Sterling was one of the best receivers I ever saw play, and I really loved his game. It was very sad when he had the neck injury, and ended his career. So, very glad to see him in the Hall of Fame. The only guy I really thought they should have put in, and it wasn't Eli, it was Adam Vinatieri. I just felt that, there's no New England dynasty without that guy. People talk about that tuck rule, but he's the guy that kicked the field goal in the snow.
Yeah.
Not once, but twice. And
Yeah.
he kicked in the harshest of weather conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And
Patriots' first three Super Bowls were all by a field goal.
Yeah.
All by Adam Vinatieri.
And
all game-winning field goals.
And that didn't happen before. So, I get it. It's like this. They want to try to be like, well, he's not. Well, look, he did something that no one else did. And he had the longevity. So, I think he deserved to be in it. I get why Eli wasn't voted, but I'm also with everybody else. It's kind of a small, class. It should have been a little bit bigger. I mean, I don't think, like, if you didn't want to give the first ballot thing, there are plenty of guys you could have easily put. And by the way, my thing was, why was Steve Smith Jr. or
Senior
or junior? I thought it was junior. Right?
Senior. It's senior.
Okay. But why did he not get it? Why did not Torrey Holt? I mean, there's some really good receivers.
Yeah.
And that's probably the hardest thing I think everyone has to get to the ball is probably wide receiver. Because when they retire, it's kind of like, got, like plaques of wood. It's like, dang, we got all this wood.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's like. That's one of the big things.
If they've made the effort, if they're the guys, then put them in there and get them going. They should be honored as Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I actually will say I agree with Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri should be in the Hall of Fame. If there's any kicker that should be, if there's any special teamer that should be a first ballot Hall of Famer outside of Devin Hester, it's Adam Vinatieri.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys said, without him, he's the difference maker in their first three Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. I believe he's the greatest kicker ever. I think Tucker still has a ways to go to finish out his career. A lot of kickers by the end of their career start to drop off. We don't know when Tucker's going to drop off. We don't know if Tucker will ever get to Adam Vinatieri's records. I thought when Devin Hester got in that it was going to open the door for special teamers. I was just telling my stepdad this last night that I was like, I thought when Hester got in that it was going to open the door for Brian Mitchell, for Josh Cribbs, for Dante Hall, for four more kickers, for Adam Vinatieri, for Gary Anderson. And that wasn't the case. Out of the nominees this year, it was only Brian Mitchell and Josh Cribbs. And Adam Vinatieri is the only guy. So I've been looking. I follow this process year round, and after I saw Vinatieri get past the second round, I was like, "Wow, I'm shocked that the Pro Football Hall of Fame voters actually want a special teamer to go this far." I think it's pretty. It's weird the process this year. So apparently, if you're in the top 7 finalists, you are a lock to be a finalist next year. So that means there are 3 finalists locked next year that weren't inducted this year. That is Luke Kuechly, Torrey Holt, and Adam Vinatieri. Those are locked. Okay. So all they need to do next year is get that vote, get the 80% or whatever vote, and they're in. So I kind of expected Vinatieri and Kuechly to not be first ballot Hall of Famers. So, but I expect them next year. I think they're going to be in. Torrey Holt should have been in. We were talking about wide receivers. We've been backloaded on wide receivers for probably 20 years. Back when Andre Reed and Chris Carter were taking a while to get in. Marvin Harrison was taking a while to get in. We've been, and next year it's going to be worse. Next year, Larry Fitzgerald's eligible for the Hall of Fame. So we have so many receivers.
Get a lot of recognition.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of receivers that need to get in.
Yeah. I tell you what, guys, being the old dude or the old geezer on this show, I can remember when all of these guys started and when they left, which is, truly something when you look at the span of NFL careers or whatever. And I agree with both of you. Adam Vinatieri is no doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I don't see how Steve Smith is not. I mean, first of all, Steve Smith wasn't big as nothing, but that dude had a heart. Okay, he had a heart, and I'm not going to say the other one, but I mean, dude could get it done. Okay, he could run by anybody.
Him and Kuechly deserve.
Without a doubt, no doubt about it. As much as it pains me to say this, and it is with great pain, but I feel like Drew Brees is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Number one, I do, and I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
The thing about Drew is Drew always put the ball where you could catch it and run. So he hit you in stride, right? It wasn't around you where you could catch it, but now you got to go down. Drew would put that thing where it was away from the defender, but you would catch it in stride and you could run for days. That is the one thing I really appreciated about him. And I mean, I think he's got the numbers. He's got a Super Bowl victory, unfortunately. But I think Matt Ryan is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if we say Matt Ryan is a first ballot Hall of Famer, you cannot then come back and say Drew Brees is not. So I honestly, in my heart of hearts, as much as it pains me to say, I feel like Drew Brees is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I see, this is where it gets murky for me. I don't think that Eli is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He did win 2 Super Bowls, but over the life of his career, he kind of meandered along, right? Good quarterback. I'm not saying he's not, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But to me, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Peyton was, right? Because Peyton was the standard for a long time. Tom Brady didn't get going until Peyton was, towards the end of his career. They had some battles, but Peyton was the standard. In other words, if you were going to play Peyton, the only defense that really figured him out was the Ravens, right? Because they figured out that, okay, half the audibles that he's calling out are not even audibles. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wait until it's 10 seconds left, because whatever he checks into that time, he can't check out of. And then we'll check out of it. And of course, they had a couple of guys named Ray Lewis and, that ball hawk and Ed Reed. But other than that, Peyton was the standard for quarterbacks for the better part of 10 years. So, yeah, Peyton's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Eli, I don't know.
Let me ask all y'all a quick question right quick. In reference to Eli Manning, if you take away that catch, Eli to Tyree, and you take away that catch he did to, I think it was Manningham, toe tapping in the sideline. I think it was Manningham toe tapping in the sideline.
Yeah.
You take away those 2 catches, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
Probably not.
He probably is going to be a Hall of Famer, but that's more of, eventually. But here's what I'm going to say. We could say ifs, we could say shoulda, woulda, and we all be drunk. But guess what? Matt Ryan ain't got that ring. Drew Brees does. And Eli's got 2. And Eli had a very high game where they beat the perfect team.
Right.
So, look, it's one of these. It depends on what the writers are looking at or whoever is voting. My thing, if it's me voting, I would definitely put Eli in. I would put Breezy in, and I would have to tell Matt to wait because I'm sorry, he only had one MVP year, and we know what that year ended up in. And it's like I have to look at the whole career. Was he a good quarterback? Heck yes, he was a good quarterback. He was. But it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Very Good. And when I look at Eli, you saw what he had to work with in New York. And yeah, there were times he had a tough, but then again, we could point the same for Drew Brees had to deal with that, and so did Matt Ryan.
Well, Matt Ryan is 8th all time in passing yards. Okay, I think, and Eli wasn't even close. That to me is kind of where you can see the separation. I mean, look we got a better defense. Matt has at least one Super Bowl ring, but Matt threw for Eli threw for 57,000 yards. Matt Ryan threw for 62,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, whatever. Like, I feel like sometimes too much is placed on one game because Matt Ryan, his QBR for the Super Bowl that we lost was like the 3rd highest ever, right? And we lost. I don't think it was anything Matt could have done. But yet we penalize, and I hear you because the rest of the world thinks like what you just said, Chris. C-Dub. They're gonna be like, hey, you know what? He didn't win a Super Bowl. Probably not gonna be the first one. Whatever. To be honest, they all deserve to get in. But if it's me, I'm taking Matt. I'm taking Matt over Eli. And if it was me, it's Matt and Drew Brees, and then Eli probably a year after.
Here's what I think is going to happen. So, so I want to give some backstory. I found this out this morning. Apparently, Eli was not in the top 10 players of the 15 modern era finalists. Eli was not in the top 10 players that had the best chance of getting inducted. That's according to the voters. Apparently, voters were very split on Eli, whether he should be a Hall of Famer or not. Right. I mean, a lot of people will talk about like, okay, if you took away Eli's 2 Super Bowls, and I'm like, well, he finished top 10 statistically in passing yards and touchdowns in his career. Mm-hmm. And I will say this. I don't think there's many quarterbacks that I've gotten to watch that could always go toe-to-toe with the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Now that's true.
I mean, Eli. I mean, I remember when Drew Brees threw 7 touchdowns in a game, and Eli's out there throwing 6 touchdowns in that same game.
Yeah.
And then Eli beat Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre in the playoffs. Then he beats Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, playoff Eli is a little different. I'll give you that. He rises to the occasion. I will give you
that. He's never been like the most consistent guy in the world. He's also had very different teams around him when he's found success. Like that 2017 compared to that 2011 team, compared to the team when they had Saquon and Odell. Just all these very different teams. But Eli, he always found a way. And I think there's something memorable for Eli. I think when you talk about the history of pro football, I don't think you can talk about the history of pro football without Eli Manning. And that's kind of why I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. And getting to Rivers. I was going to talk about Philip Rivers, but Matt Ryan. I kind of put Matt Ryan in the same conversation as Philip Rivers. I think both should be in the Hall of Fame, but I wouldn't be shocked if they take a while. I wouldn't be shocked if they're senior nominees when they get inducted.
It could happen.
I think Because I think there's Hall of Famers in right now that never won a Super Bowl that are in it. Dan Fouts never went to a Super
Dan
Bowl.
Fouts,
And he's in the Hall of Fame.
Dan Marino
Yeah.
never won.
Yeah, and I think Matt Ryan deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think Philip Rivers deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I kind of put them in the same breath. I think if Rivers doesn't get in, I wouldn't be shocked if Matt Ryan doesn't get in. And I don't see why they shouldn't. It's just Eli has kind of the outline of a Hall of Fame career. He doesn't have the inside. The inside's where there's the issue. He is the basic outline for what makes a Hall of Fame career. He's got multiple Super Bowl rings. He finished his career statistically top 10 all time in yards and touchdowns. And he's got like 4 Pro Bowls to his name. So he's got a couple of awards. So I mean, he's got the basic outline for what should be a Hall of Fame career, but I don't think he gets in next year. I think he's gonna have to wait another year. Next year's class is huge. Between Breeze and Fitz, Frank Gore, LaShawn McCoy. There's a lot of guys on top of the guys who are coming in from last year's class, but next year's class looks enormous.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. It's still, man, a lot of great players, and hey, what a privilege to have seen that and to have witnessed all of that history. And speaking of history, before we leave, we would be remiss if we did not discuss Mrs. Virginia Hallis, who was a one-time Bears owner and recently died. Was it yesterday? Jordan? Yeah. Okay. So, Jordan, I know you wanted to say a few words about her. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, when George Halas got ownership of the team when the NFL first started, I mean, he went on to become one of the foundational pieces of the NFL and pro football. So George Halas his legacy alone, you can't even quantify it. So he ended up passing away in '83, and that's when Virginia Halas, his daughter, got ownership of the team. A couple years later, they would go win the Super Bowl in '85. They would go make the Super Bowl but lose to the Colts. And I know Bears fans, they don't really like her very well, as in terms of like a team of managing the team. And I don't think it was ever about that. She inherited this franchise that was her namesake, and what she was able to do for women in sports is something that we'll talk about forever. Getting ownership of a team. I mean, there's female owners now in sports, but it started getting stream in like the mid to late 2000s. But she's been the owner since the 80s, since the mid 80s. And she has been such a foundational piece to one of the greatest franchises in sports history. I don't think I think she. So we're talking about the Hall of Fame. I think she might end up being the first female, first woman inducted into the Hall of Fame. Just because, I mean, what she was able to do with this franchise and with the namesake, and for women in sports is very powerful. And we lost a role model, a superhero. And she will definitely be missed.
Well, hey, thank you for that, Jordan. I really appreciate that, and I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. She may be the first female in the Hall of Fame, and if so, hey, man, bring it on. Look, it's about what you can do at the end of the day in certain jobs, and whether you are male or female, it shouldn't matter. If you can get the job done, you can get the job done. So, hey, condolences to the Halas family. She was 100, you say, Jordan, or
102.
102. So that's a full life, man. That is a full life. 102.
She actually, she would tell stories. I've watched interviews of her over the years because she's seen more football than Bill Belichick has.
Right.
But I've heard her tell stories about Bronco Nagurski, about Sid Luckman, about Dick Butkus, Gail Sayers, Walter Payton. There's not many human beings in this world that could do that, and she was able to do that.
Yeah, that's a phenomenon. And like you say, man, that definite loss and condolences. And hey, like you say, maybe she will go ahead to achieve that Hall of Fame. But guys, everyone on the panel, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Really appreciate this. I know this was a lot of fun on my part. I hope it was fun on yours. I truly enjoyed myself. But then, I tend to do that because, I'm just goofy like that. So whatever. I look at, we can come back and do this. The Super Bowl is over as of Sunday. So if you guys want to come back Friday and we can have an after Super Bowl review and talk about everything that happened. Liam, let me tell you something, brother. You're welcome to come on this show anytime you like, man. Anytime you want to come on here, man, you're welcome to. Hopefully it'll be after a loss. I shouldn't say that. Hell, I'm gonna say it. Hopefully it'll be after a loss, but whatever, man. If you guys win, you win. You'll be the first three-peat, and it won't be anything I can say. You know what I mean?
Everybody wants to see history.
I mean, it'll be history, man. You know what I mean? You, whatever I say, you could be like, whatever, man, three-peat. You know what? You didn't have to say anything. You just hold this up. Hey, man. Hey, you see this? You see this? Nobody ever done it, T-Will. And T-Will won't be able to do anything but shut up and say you're right. So, Hey, man, Liam, tell these folks where they can find you. Do you do any podcasting? Are you out there? Tell these folks where they can find you.
I don't do any podcasts, but I'm on Instagram. I think it might just be Liam McRae. So.
Well, Liam, we're gonna see what we can do to change about that because you're just a hell of a nice guy and you really ruined my attempt to convert you into one of us. But don't worry, I'm still gonna try. So I'm not gonna give up on you, Liam.
His team is successful. He can't be one of us. It's just one of those things, Terry.
Yeah, that's
that's
what it is. He's experienced so much success. He's like, whatever. You guys and your trivial stuff.
Hold on.
I'm about to have 4 rings.
That used to be the quarterback for his team.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay.
Steve Bono.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Enough. Mr. Jordan, sir, as always, man, first of all, friend of mine, love this guy. He and I will be one day doing a Marvel team up show for all the Marvel movies. One day we're going to get it together. Who are we waiting on? We're waiting on me. T-Will got to get his shit together. But anyway, Jordan, tell these folks where they can find you, man.
You can find me at Ultegacy, Ultegacy. Liam's on there too. Liam posts articles. He's in some videos too. We'll do like baseball videos occasionally, football videos with Jason and James and other people if you've seen any of our other videos. But Ultegacy on all platforms. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every single platform, but we're going to try to and focus more on
Blue
YouTube
Sky.
this year.
Blue, you're going to try Blue. Oh, you're focusing on YouTube. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okie doke. Well, hey, man, as always, bro, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate that. Debo Vibes, my other podcast brother that I podcast with on Tuesdays and Fridays, man. Tell these folks where they can see you. And Debo, we've been talking so long, I'm hungry. So what you got for me? Because I know you're a foodie. I know you're always at somebody's spot and you live close to me, Debo. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to preview a restaurant right here.
Okay.
I'm hungry as hell. It's what time? 9:30. As soon as I get off this podcast, big boy, and you know what I mean when I say big boy. That's right. This baby's about 8 months overdue. Big boy got to get him something to eat, man. Give me something. What? Something out near McDonough, man. Where am I going? What's up?
Ooh, McDonough, man. I was going to sing up here to Clayton County, man, but gee whiz, McDonough. I got to think on that. I got nothing. I got something for Stockbridge for you, man.
Okay, what you got? What you got for Stockbridge? That's not too far.
It's wings on wheat. Have you
Wings
heard of it
on wheat?
before? Have you heard of
No.
wings on wheat before?
Uh-uh.
They sell some banging wings, man. Like they got like 50 flavors, man. Good flavored wings, awesome, amazing flavored wings, man. It's actually located in one of those gas stations, and and we all know the best restaurants sometimes can be located in
In
them
them
gas
gas
station
stations. Yeah.
plazas,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
man.
I would say wings on wheat. So give that a
Okay.
shot right there, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So as for myself, man, y'all can catch me on Debo Vibes, DBOE. VIBES, Falcons Talk, Braves Talk, Hawks Talk, and a lot of food videos. Just did a food video where I was at Annie Laura's in Riverdale. Had some banging pork chops, man. Some other pork chops, mac and cheese, rice, fried okra, cornbread, all that, and a reasonable price. All that, man. You know what I mean? So if you like good food videos, come on by, holler at your boy. If you like Atlanta sports, come on by, holler at your boy. And you'd be glad you did. I'd be greatly appreciative if you did. So, but as always, to you, Will, man, thank you for letting me on the platform. You know what I'm saying? Liam, Jordan, nice meeting y'all, man. And we'll see what happens with you two on Sunday, man. When the Eagles and the Chiefs play, I got the Eagles winning, and my dark horse MVP is Noah Smith Jr., the
Oh
linebacker.
shit! Now, what's the score? What's the final score?
Final score is 24-14 Eagles.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. All right. We definitely appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to really this next young man came into my life probably about 6-7 months ago and has really helped me to build a lot in podcast. I don't give him a lot of credit, you know what I mean? But if there was a Jonathan, if there was a Robin to like, you know what I mean, this dude has helped me so much, man. He's helped me to assemble shows. Y'all just don't know what me and C Dub go through on on you really don't. But I can't thank him enough. He's been closer than a brother. Always upfront, always straight up, always here to support. And I really just got to give him his due because he's always there for me. So, C-Dub, I love you, man. I want you to know that, and I appreciate you. And just tell these folks where they can find you, brother.
Well, let me go ahead and say this too, because we had Ladarius here earlier, and I know he had to run, but you can find him at Ladarius_Brown over on YouTube. Man's coming up with a lot of good stuff too. Me and him, we work together a lot on wrestling and a lot of podcasts on football. Now that the football season's over, well, wrestling's heating up because we got the Rumble, or we're past the Rumble. Now we're going to WrestleMania season, so we're looking forward to that. To find me, C28. That's the YouTube channel, and CAAWTN. That's where I'm on Twitter. I'll be. I look for articles and I'll repost. I may have my comments on a few, and then we just come out here and yeah, Terry's an awesome dude. I appreciate you a lot. I'm glad you're getting better, but like I said, bro, you want to make sure you get 100% better. We want you back on normal like we normally have you. But it was good to, come here today and be with you guys, Leon, and also Jordan. You guys are awesome. Debo, man, first of all, you're a foodie. And, bro, the Outcast thing, I love it. So, we definitely got to do more collabs together because that'll be hilarious. So, but, yeah, man, and I enjoyed tonight, and it was fun. And I'll holler at y'all later on.
Amen. Amen. And, hey, man, he's C28 on YouTube. And hey, last but not least, man, first of all, everybody who joined us in the show, I want to send a big fat thank you because you could have been anywhere in the world on a Friday night. And at 9:27, we still got a bunch of y'all in here at least watching the chat. And we can't do anything but thank you because sorry about that. We couldn't do this without you. We could not do this without you. So first and foremost, again, you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be with us. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. And please continue to come back. We all appreciate you guys joining us. And look, we just appreciate being able to talk about the Falcons and really the NFL, as you know, Jordan and Liam, they got teams too. We appreciate being able to talk football with y'all, man. Just being able to come together and put down the cares of the world. Lord knows there's so much going on, and just establish a safe space where, you know, we can just be family and talk about football, man. So I think it was great. I really enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone who joined us. Appreciate that. I hope you guys stay safe this weekend and have an excellent Super Bowl experience. Whether you are going to the Super Bowl, whether you're going to the Super Bowl party, whether you're going to be like me and enjoy the Super Bowl at home, because I got the cooties, don't want to give them to anybody. But hey, man, I just hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Number one, I got to thank God. Would not be here without him. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Would not be here without you. You woke me up this morning. You continue to do that. He's an awesome God. Can't do anything but praise him. Last but not least, want to give some shout outs to everyone on the panel. Want to shout out to Miss Carrie from One Time for the Fan, Jack Spade, One Time for the Fan, Bodie 3000 from One Time for the Fan. Definitely everybody on Beard Gang, which is Mr. C Double, Ladarius Brown, his band of renown, Ronnie Thomas, who's not here because he's having issues. Shout out to my other podcast mate, Mr. Debo Vibes. Thank you for that. Shout out to Chris A1, who's always helping me. Shout out to Berto Damas, or Berto from 95 North, Smitty, 10K, Big Low, as well as Uncle Steve. And I'm sure somebody I forgot, charge it to my head, not my heart. Last but not least, I want to thank Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker for giving me my start in this business. Would not be here without you, gentlemen. Everybody, enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy your NFL weekend. Have a great time. And we will see you here Monday morning to talk about the whole thing. Be safe. Good night, everybody. Thank you all.